Yeah. The next to do it in my city, they know it. High level conversations with politicians and lawyers.
What's going on, good people? My name is Jory Miller. This is Cast and Pearls. This is episode 1 of 8 in a series called Against All Odds. Super excited to be before you. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet, man. Before I get into the topic of discussion, I want to brush over the series, right? So Against All Odds. So why am I having my first series of the podcast being titled Against All Odds? Quite honestly, it's because that's what it feels like, right, in life for me, right? So what you can expect for in this podcast is just complete transparency, right, along my journey and along the journey of those that I'm going to have on this platform. And right now in my journey where I stand, it feels like the odds are against me. It feels like I'm defying gravity, right? Well, I'm a 29-year-old man that's in a career. I'm 3-4 years removed from college and things like that. So I'm starting my life, right? And when you're starting and you're embarking on something, I think that's where you have a lot of trial and tribulation, right? That is new to you and you don't know how to handle everything that's being thrown at you, right? And it seems like this is impossible to get to the other side of the mountain, and it seems like you're against all odds. I know that it's been done before, so it's nothing new under the sun, and that all is going to be well. But I definitely want to document the process for those who, again, that are along the journey with me, to encourage you guys to keep going, and also those who are going to be coming behind me along the same journey in life, trying to be purposeful, trying to do it right, trying to do it in a way that honors God, that brings honor to my family, and so on. So again, that is Against All Odds, and now we're going to dive into the first episode, which we'll be talking about how to not be loyal to comfort. All right. So loyal to comfort. So man, I was scrolling right on social media, and there was a gentleman. I wish I can give him the proper credit, but I don't recollect, who I heard it from, but someone mentioned being liking comfort or what have you. And that really, stuck with me, because I know a lot of people, even myself, have sometimes been loyal to comfort in moments where, although we say that we don't like something, right? We don't like where we are. And sometimes we get complacent where we are. So we become loyal to it and we want change, but yet we don't do the things that we need to do in order to make change. And we get comfortable where we are, even though where we are is not really the most comfortable place. It's not the most gratifying place. It's not something that we have thought that we'll ever be. I never thought my life would be like this. I think I was looking on social media today and I saw somebody post that was like, man, I can't wait to start living, right? And I thought that was weird. But I read on in their comment, and it's like, all I've been doing is just surviving. Right. So in our comfort place, we sometimes, we in survival mode, but yet we don't do the things that we need to do that will get us in a better place. Right. We're okay. We're alive. All is well. We have a lot to be grateful for. However, we want better. We want to progress. So how do you do that when you've been where you are for so long? And a lot of people around you, they're in the same situation. And it seems like you would be the first person to get out the boat and do the impossible and walk on water. Right. Yeah. So we're going to talk about that, man. Getting out the comfort place and talking about just what it's like being loyal to comfort. All right, cool. Got my little notes here. Y'all gotta admit, the boy is fresh today. I ain't gonna lie. So yeah, you can expect me to be pretty dapper each episode as well. I'm going to encourage those who I'm going to have on the platform to bring their Sunday's best as well, because I'm going to definitely bring mine. All right. So that's that. All right, man. So how do you know that you're loyal to comfort? All right. So you know that you are loyal to comfort when you want to get out of a situation, you want to improve your situation, but you refuse to do what it takes. So I can reflect back on, I think it was 2020 and 2021. 2020 was definitely a super tough year for me. One of my best years in business, but one of my worst years personally, right? There was COVID. I moved to a new city in the middle of the desert called El Paso, Texas, from where I had been for 6 or 7 years. My marriage at the time was going through pure hell. Just terrible. Again, I made the most money I probably ever made in the year 2020, but everything else was just falling apart. And then 2021, I tried to shake back and recover, but 2021 was also a rough year. And I remember still telling myself, okay, Jordan, Jory, well, you're going to do this business thing still. People ask me like, what am I planning on doing 20 years in the military? And I would always say no. The military is not for me. It's just a stepping stone, and I'm going to transition out and I'm going to be a full-time entrepreneur. Now, mind you, during this time for like about 2 years, I wasn't clocking out of the military and clocking into my business. I wasn't doing that on a consistent basis. I would make efforts, but but not enough that would allow me to actually be able to have a business to get out of the military and focus on. I just was saying, hey, I'm a real estate investor. I was just saying I'm this, I'm that, but I really wasn't practicing business. Right? So to make my point here, again, being loyal to comfort, I'm getting paid on the 1st and 15th. I'm making a decent amount of money. My family is good. I'm able to take care of my business and so on. So I'm comfortable, right? Like I don't need to go and work super duper hard and do the absolute most because again, I'm good. I have food on my table. My lights are on. My bills are paid. I have transportation, clothes on my back. My son's good. He's flourishing. He's fine. So again, at this time, I'm saying one thing. Again, I want to be this, I want to be that, I want to be great, I want to be financially free, but I wasn't putting in the work. So I was loyal to comfort. Unconsciously, consciously, I was saying, again, this, and this. And we say a lot of things, but we don't back those things up with our actions. So I had to check myself, man. I said, Jory, bro, you need to just like stop playing games. You just need to be honest, like with yourself. Like if you're gonna do this entrepreneurial thing, you need to actually do it. Stop playing. Like who are you fooling? You're not you may be able to fool people, but you can't fool yourself. Like you know that you don't even have a business or like a product or service to offer somebody if they wanted to partake in your business, if they wanted to help you out. Yes, I was doing some things, but I feel like I wasn't actually doing what I needed to do in order to be who I said I was at that time. A lot of us, we want something, we aspire to have something, we desire something, but we don't go and actually do the work that's needed to acquire that, right? We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. I think this is not, again, like I'm not trying to beat up anybody, I promise you. I am talking to myself, right? Again, and I am literally just trying to, again, cast these pearls, letting you know what my mindset in life was at the time versus what it is right now. And hopefully I'm just going to inspire you, encourage you to do better than what you did yesterday. And if you are already doing better than what you've been doing, to keep on doing that. All right. Again, we cast some pearls. So that's that. How you know. That's exactly how you know that you're loyal to comfort, when you won't do the things that you need to do to have a better tomorrow. In order to have a better tomorrow, you have to get uncomfortable. All right. Today, straight like that. It doesn't come no other way. You can't fool nobody. You have to make change to make change. And that's just the way it is. So that's that. All right. Now, when you sick and tired, you'll change. Otherwise, you're not ready. All right. So a lot of people, again, you're comfortable. You're not really sick and tired. Like you don't really want it. And if you want something, like you will do something about it. Right. I think it was Eric Thomas that said in a podcast or on stage or something like that, in a speaking engagement that made he blew up after this. He said that, when you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe, then you will be successful. And I think that is the epitome of what I'm trying to express here. When you want to succeed as much as you want to breathe. I think in his example, he was talking about somebody, basically a mentor trying to help out somebody. He told him like, hey, come to the beach and come out here in the water, in the pool, what have you, and let me show you how to, like, what success looks like. And like he got put underwater, or he told him to go underwater or whatever. And the guy was like, he wanted to breathe, but he couldn't get up, and he was being held down, and he was fighting the guy and trying to get up, right, and to get above surface so he can breathe, right. And then I think when he finally was let up, please forgive me if I'm chopping this story up, but this is how he said it in my mind, Mr. Dr. Eric Thomas. And he said, hey, guy, the mentee told the mentor, is like, what's up? Why'd you do that? Like, how are you teaching me how to be successful? He was like, well, no, son, if you want to be successful, as bad as you were fighting for breath and trying to get up from up under the water, in the same way you have to fight for success. And if it's anything less than that, then it won't happen for you. I kind of digress a little bit, but that's that. Otherwise, you just need to stop talking about it. Like, stop talking about it. I told myself, Jory, like, bro, like, stop talking about it. Like, stop saying that you this, stop saying you that. Hey, you need to just go ahead and wrap it up, close up shop, and commit to this 20 years in the military, which is a good thing. It's not a bad life. But for me, up until that point, I was not willing willing to go ahead and give up my entrepreneurial dreams because I knew that I didn't want this to happen. This is so important. Oh my God, this is so important. All right. There's something about life that makes people shrink their dreams into, like, make them smaller, right? Like, for example, I tell my son that he can be whatever he wants to be. And I did not give up at the time because I wanted my son to be able to come to me whenever he experienced hard times in the pursuit of what he's trying to do with his life, right? And what he feel God has called him to do, right? In his life, putting to use his talents and things like that. And I knew that if I gave up on what I wanted to do with my life, which is simply like being, one of my many talents is sharing, teaching, speaking, and so on, right? I knew that if I gave up and I didn't do things like what I'm doing right now before you, then I would disqualify myself from, I felt this way, I would disqualify myself from ever being able to assist my son in any future endeavor that he had, right? Or in pursuing his dreams, because I gave up on mine. I wasn't ready to disqualify myself. Like, I wanted to be able to be the type of parent that could speak from experience. I want to be able to speak from experience. And I think ideally that we would all want to do that. And you don't have to have a child. You don't have to be a parent. No, you can you have neighbors, you have cousins, you have relatives, you share this, you have people that you are a leader to, that look at you as an example. And you want to be able, and we all have dreams, we all want to do things with our life. And I would think that we all want to be one that can help somebody else. So I think the best way for us to help somebody else is for us to be our best self. And if you can be your best self, then you can encourage and tell somebody how to be their best self, or give them an idea of what that may look like. But if you quit, then again, you disqualify yourself from being able to help them in that regard. And I didn't give up at this time, in 2020, 2021, because I wasn't ready to shrink my dreams to meet, match, or reflect, like within my W-2. No, that wasn't going to work for me. It wasn't going to work for me. I'm not ready. And I don't think I'll ever be ready to just give up. Nah, that's just not what it is. In this life, I would like to do what is on my heart to do, whether that's travel, contribute, give, what have you, right? I want to be able to do that. If I can't contribute and express myself, then what's life? Again, that's for me. You have to choose for you what you want to do, what makes life for you, and you need to get to it, right? You need to get to it, man. Again, and don't allow life to beat you down, because it shall tempt to try to beat you down and make you give up what you want to do with your life. But don't allow it, man. Keep going. Keep pushing on. All right. So again, I say to you, closing with that second point, that whenever you're sick and tired, right, then you'll make change. Otherwise, you're not ready. All right. There's a little scripture that I really appreciate. It was, I want to say in John, where there's a man at the pool of Bethesda where he laid there for 38 years, and along come Jesus and tell him, do you want to be well? Then get up. Simply put. And I love that scripture because a lot of people have found themselves in situations for just extended periods of time, way longer than what they should have been where they are, right, in whatever ruts. It just goes back to my previous point that whenever you're ready, when you're sick and tired, you'll make change. The get up part, again, Christ is no longer walking the earth, but he told us in scripture, he told this gentleman in scripture to get up. And the fact that every day that you wake up and you have breath, you have another opportunity, you can make change. Right, you can get up. Right, you can make change. That's simply put. Right, like I don't know what your struggle is, but if you have breath in your body, that's your sign to get up. That's your instruction to get up. Like, you're still here. Get up, pick up your mat, right, and carry on. That's all permission you needed, is to wake up this morning. Let's not linger in our bad times, or in these things that were maybe meant to keep us down. Let's get up, all right? Because we got purpose in our lungs. I call air, right? I call air purpose. Third thing, again, when you're trying to not be loyal to comfort, you're trying to change that, right? You need to be honest with yourself, all right? You need to look around and see, like, what is stopping you? Like, what is stopping you? And also, you need to acknowledge that you have a problem. So when you're looking around and for me, like, for example, I remember in 2020, again, I made the most money I probably ever made that year, in my life, right? And then I lost like $30,000. Like, I got up and I lost like 30 racks that year, and that took me under. Why? Because I had been working my butt off to be able to make a play that will put me in that position to be able to have that amount of money, so I can go on and be catapulted to make more money. So again, I got all this money, And and I didn't do the right thing with it. I had just, it killed me. I was like, I think maybe depressed for some time because I can't believe that I fumbled the bag. That, I've been trying to get to this place, and I finally got to this place where I have these funds to be able to do greater things with, and I fumbled the bag. So I really wasn't ready to do greater things. I look back and now that was a lesson, but that was a tough lesson. So to my point, I had to look and see what's stopping me, right? So again, not only did that happen, I think I was being super complacent, my finances or whatever. I wasn't making sure every dollar did what it was supposed to do. I always had the money to pay my bills, but then again, just not stewarding my finances properly, and a couple things didn't get paid a couple months in a row, and my credit score dropped from 750, 760 to 5 something. It doesn't take much. I've always had good credit, so I never had to worry about trying to make a come up and trying to do certain things in real estate and what have you. I never had to do those things without having good credit. That happened, and it was, oh my God, whoa, it's me. It was terrible. But then I had to look around, man, hey, people are doing this real estate thing, having bad credit and shaking back. So, I can do it as well. But it was very tough for me to get past that. So now, I identified not having credit as a problem, right? And as a reason why I could not be progressive still and be successful still. That was a thing. I really allowed that to cripple me for some time, but I got over that, and I looked around and I looked for solutions. I Googled how to recover from credit, of having missed payments or whatever, and yeah, I got out of that slump and I got my credit back up. So look around. If you yes, you messed up, but let's say, I don't know, you got a felony on your record, or misdemeanor or whatever. How can I go and take care of myself, get a job, or make some money, and I got this record, bro? People have done it before. It's been done before, so you can do it. You just have to, again, be diligent, and you have to not just sit back and accept the L. Oh my God, listen, there's a proper way to take a L being a loss. If you understand that, and you're going to know that losses are going to come along the way, losses are a part of the journey, then you'll be better off. But there is a proper way to take a L, and don't let nobody tell you that they don't take L's. People take secret L's all the time, but you may not know it. They roll with the punches, and they just get up and they continue to push forward. Hey, just keep that thing moving, man. And if you don't know what to do next, look at somebody to your left or to your right and ask them, hey, what have you done in this situation? If you're a felon, or you got several children, and you don't have you feel like you have any support or what have you. Bro, there are people who have more kids than you, and they are they've gotten it done. Or there are people who have more felonies than you. There are people who have they're amputees, and they have and they've still been able to do it, right? So I'm again just trying to encourage you, don't just settle where you are and stay where you are because again you've had a setback. So continue to move on. All right. And the one of the last things I'll say about being loyal to comfort, right, and wanting to change that is that you have to understand and acknowledge the road ahead. You have to understand that one, is going to be uncomfortable. Two, that when you're trying to no longer be loyal to comfort, it's going to feel like you're defying gravity. And the last thing I'll say about that, you have to understand that time is irrelevant. You need not to look at the clock. Don't look at how long you think it'll take you and so on. You just keep on going. I think I came upon that phrase or that saying, time is irrelevant, for leaders and people that are trying to do something, are trying to accomplish something. Or you're gonna have setbacks, but you can't allow the time, the clock to stress you out or make you feel just make it harder for you. You do what it takes. Yes, I understand you gotta maybe you have a goal, you're trying to get to this place in this time, but guess what, man, what if it takes more time, right? Don't allow time to steal your joy, right? For me, for example, I had a goal to be financially free by 30. I'm 29. I'm not yet financially free, but I know what the process looks like, and preferably I'm gonna live a long time. But what I will not do is allow the fact that, okay, what if I am not financially free by 30? Most people aren't financially free until they're 65. I'm trying to do it in half the time. I want to retire early. So if I retire and I'm financially free by 35, bro, aim for the stars, but I landed on the moon. That's having a 10x mindset. So me having the goal to be financially free and retire by 30 is my 10x mindset. And I think what Grant Cardone gets at in his book called the 10x rule is that you have to understand that you need to plan have a lofty, super lofty goal, understand that it's going to take 10 times the time, 10 times the resources, 10 times the amount of money, 10 times the effort to get there. And if you don't reach that 10x goal and you only get halfway, understand that like you really probably only wanted to get to the halfway mark. Because the halfway mark is probably still, oh my God, like 100 times better than anything else done that has ever been done in your family. So have that 10x goal and understand that time is irrelevant. Do what it takes. Stop looking at the clock. You're going to get there when you get there. What you need to do is, there's this book that I love right here, right? It's a book by Joshua Metcalf, and it's called Chop Wood and Carry Water, right? I'm not going to get into the book, but I think it's a great book on what it's like to fall in love with the process. The process is not going to go nowhere. You can't skip the process. You can't skip the hard work. So put your head down. Don't worry about what's going on to your left. Don't worry about what's going on to your right. You stay focused at the goal and making sure that, okay, like you doing the process. Reps and sets, reps and sets, reps and sets. You just continue to do it. I think I love this the other day where someone said, people who are successful and do great things in this life, they don't do it do a thing until they get it right. They do it until they can't get it wrong. That did something to me. All right. And it did something to me. It hit. I'm like, golly, that's different. And by the time you get to a point where you can't get it wrong, understand that like you're the best. If you're in business, and you can't get it wrong, you have a superior service, superior product, and you're way farther ahead than where you started. We're gonna land this plane. Thank you for your time. Try to keep it under 30 minutes, man. But let's not be loyal to comfort. Like, we have to be uncomfortable to make things happen in this life. Don't be afraid to shock your life. If you find that things are just stale, you have to be able to like shock your life, do something different to get something different. Don't trick yourself into thinking that it's gonna come any other way. You have to do something different and get around people who are doing something different. If you have, but I love talking with people. I love helping people. I deal in real estate. I'm in the military and so on. But I love talking with people about, change and like trying to be their best self. All right. So I love to help you. If I can, reach out, shoot me a DM. This is Cast and Pearls. My name is Jordan Miller. This is episode 1 of 8 in the series entitled Against All Odds. Y'all be great and y'all be blessed. Peace.